heroes call to arms. The growers our returns. Basements, garages, the towers of homegrown pride. Roots like iron, leaves like flags. We rise and testify. Click the link, join the Legion. Camera set to show. From seed to crown, the miracle. Let everybody know. Growing old grows. Cannabis at home. Raise your rigs, raise your glass. Bring the green into the dome. Let's all gather, stream the rose. Let the whole world know. Let's show you growing old grows. Cannabis at home.
Well, welcome, and thanks for popping in. Kind of, I guess it's kind of short notice. We normally don't do any Tuesday nights, and I apologize to everybody who's got a Tuesday night live, and we're stepping on toes. I apologize for that, but we had an opportunity to interview Bear from Son of Odin Seed Co. And he couldn't do it on the Sunday that we had prepared it, or we were going to do it. That was the weekend of all those big snowstorms and stuff. So we took that off, and then he had some other things going on. So this is the first opportunity that we've had to pop him up here. But before I bring him up, because he's backstage, I just want to remind everybody, please be respectful out there in the chats. By all means, if you got questions, you could throw them in. I'd like to try and my goal here is he and I will sit here for like an hour. I got a bunch of questions for him, and we'll go through those at some point. Being an old man, I'll have to take a break, but and then maybe we can get into a second hour and we can answer questions. You guys can shoot him questions and stuff, but that's the goal, 1 hour, and then maybe see if we can get it to go to 2. But let me bring up Bear, and he can start off. Welcome, brother. Welcome.
Well, hey, cheers, bro. I thought it said 7 p.m. Eastern. My bad. So, I wasn't paying attention. I thought it was Central.
Oh yeah, it is 7. It is 7.
Yeah.
7 Eastern. Yeah.
Yeah. So I screwed it up, man. I thought it was Central. I was like, wait a minute. Ernest, I'm supposed to be there half an hour early. What did I do? Oh yeah. And then I looked at it. And I'm like, oh.
No, it always works. That whole time thing is it gets confusing. Especially here in Arizona, it gets a little tough because we never change the clocks. It's the rest of the world that change, and we just stay the same. So for right now, we're in Mountain, and probably March will be mostly Pacific. But if you wouldn't mind, we can just start. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Introduce yourself. Nothing. No super secret info. Anything you think the audience might be interested in and stuff. And then we'll go through that. And then I have more questions.
I'm from Michigan. I was born and raised in Ionia, Michigan. I've been growing cannabis for 36 years. I'm a third generation grower. My wife is from Oklahoma, so I have 2 kids born in Michigan and 2 in Oklahoma. So I live in Oklahoma now, northeast Oklahoma.
Oh, wow. Northeast. I'm trying to think where that was, because I used to live, I was born in Missouri, and I lived in Kansas when I was growing up at first, when I was like up till I was 5. I live in
the corner of the 4 states, bro. I'm about 12 miles from Arkansas, about 18 miles from Kansas, and about 20 miles from Missouri.
Yep.
Grand Lake. You know where Grand Lake is?
No, that's cool because that's kind of I know. Well, I don't know that area too much anymore because it's been almost 60 years, I guess.
Yeah.
So, but
time marches on, bro.
It does march on. I'll move to the next one, and then I'll have some other stuff. What got you? What got you into growing cannabis? I know a lot of us, like myself, it just became legal. I got some medical issues and stuff, but what got you into it?
I've always been around it my whole life. My uncles and my cousins grew. My uncles, my uncle married two of them married Mexicans from Texas, and they both worked on farms down there when they were 19 years old. So when they came back to Michigan, they brought back with them like Michoacan and some airlines and a bunch of sativas, and they started growing. And I just was always around it my whole life.
Wow.
And so probably about 8 years old is my earliest memory of smoking weed. My cousin was about 19 at the time, and he had it looked like a fishbowl, but it was a hookah. So it looked like a fishbowl hookah. Had two hoses, and he said to me and my other cousin Fred, he's like, "Hey, this is called a bubble machine, and it makes you feel really good." And I'm like, okay. So we tried it, started coughing and hacking real bad.
Oh, yeah.
But we were high as hell. We went upstairs. My aunt found out, beat shit out of him, broke the bong.
Oh,
but after that, I was like, man, that's pretty cool stuff. You know, you feel really good afterwards. So, because my uncles always rolled just joints and stuff. And so after that, I don't know. I decided that I wasn't going to pay for it because my cousin told me how expensive it was unless you grew it yourself. So when I was 10, I took a bunch of seeds from my uncle who had them in a jar, and I just threw them by the river, you know, just thinking that they would grow that way. You know, they just grow because
right.
You know, they didn't. Nothing came out of them. So I decided I went out to my grandpa's who had a 5-acre vegetable garden all the time. He was German. So he had a farm. He hunted all of his own meat. You know, he made everything himself and he grew everything himself. So I went out there and I worked on my grandfather's farm during the summers, and I watched how he did tomato plants and lettuce because my uncle told me those were the two closest to watch if you're going to grow cannabis weed, you know. So I said, all right. And I pretty much gathered it up. You know, it was only an inch in the ground. Plant it somewhere where there's a lot of water. So the river was right, but it wasn't up high on a bank. It was more down towards a low level, you know.
Right.
Towards a swamp, really.
A little too much water.
Yeah. So I planted 10 seeds and one popped and it grew. And I watched the whole thing all summer long. And then as soon as, you know, it came time to harvest it, it was a male. I didn't know the difference.
Right.
So I grew a male plant. After that, I told my uncle, I said, you know what? I want to come out to the farm because I want to learn how to do this right. This isn't working. This sucks. And they were growing in a Christmas tree farm. It was like every other row,
right,
you know, and keeping them below level. And so I was out there watering and topping and doing IPM and everything else. So it was basically the water boy, really, for a while. And then trimming after a while too. So those were pretty much my experiences with it. And then probably about the time I was 14, I started getting some books and some other stuff. And then when Jorge Cervantes came out with his 2 books, I bought them both. I bought his guerrilla growing videos, of course, out of High Times is the only place that I could get them.
Right.
And after that, I started guerrilla growing, man. And then also planting everywhere else. My uncles were growing, my cousins were growing, and my grandfather was growing without knowing. Because my grandpa had a really big apple tree in the back, right at the edge of the garden. And my uncle planted them all around that tree. So my grandfather was watering and fertilizing them.
He was taking care of them.
Yeah, he didn't know.
That is so cool.
So,
I mean, that is funny. I mean,
it is funny
that's
now.
Real guerrilla growing right there. When you've got somebody else taking care of it and they don't know it.
Yeah, my uncle was kind of crafty like that. You know?
No, that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah, but it's just always been in our family. We were always told as a kid, don't talk about it, don't talk to the cops. But they were always rolling up. I mean, some of them, most of their friends too, are old hippies. They
Right.
still wore the Daisy Dukes and the thong freaking shoes, and I was like, they're weird looking, but they got good green. So
That's but but that's the
mm,
way us old people used to be
yeah, they were,
when we were younger.
and they
Now,
they taught us a lot too. They didn't hold back knowledge. They didn't get mad at me for asking questions, and I asked a lot of questions.
no, and that's what I wrote down. It's like it was like the way you described it. You get to go out there. They're letting you top. They're letting you water and stuff. Kind of like a trade
Mhm.
school.
Pretty
You get-
much, yeah,
I
yeah,
mean, and then you got it led you to getting a book, and
hmm
now you're doing more studying and stuff.
yeah.
Yeah.
I started buying seeds too. So
Oh, I bet. Did you ever keep any of the? It was Mexican strains that
the,
they brought back, right?
to begin with, it was a lot of Mexican sativas, especially Michoacan. Michoacan was one of the biggest ones that they had, and they all loved it. And it was a really decent plant, but it got really tall, so you had to top the living crap out of it and tie it
Right.
down. And then there was like some Mexican Airlines. There was some Afghan skunk that came in a little later, right around, my uncle said it came back in 78, and we didn't grow it until like 90, 89, 90
Oh
is,
wow.
is when we started growing other, stuff from there. And I was already buying stuff from High Times by then. So, and I don't know if a lot of people remember or not, but Barney's seeds that you buy now used to be Barney's breakfast bar. It just used to be a hash house, a coffee house.
Oh really?
And yeah, and a lot of Americans, since they started with the helicopters, thanks to Mr. Just Say No, you know, the
Right. Right.
cocaine contra boy. They started sending their genetics overseas. So Barney's took in a lot of American genetics, and when Sweet Tooth came out from Barney's, I bought a ton of Barney seeds. So, and Sweet Tooth and Juicy Fruit were one of my favorites. So, still to this day, I still grow Sweet Tooth. So,
Yeah, because I've got because I'll be throwing out some other questions like that because and it'll have to do with do you have some of those old genetics?
mhm.
Have you used those in some of your creations and stuff? And do you think that the old school adds to because I myself going back old school land races and stuff, do you think that going back kind of old school kind of adds a little bit to what you're trying to produce?
um, the five mains. There's five mains really. The whites and so forth, and they were more stable because over 1,000 years of generations they were in that spot.
Right.
The only difference I seen with stuff like that was if it came out of a wet climate and you put it in a dry climate, it ain't gonna grow that great. I mean,
Right.
it was used to what it had, and I think that they were a great starting block for what we needed to have. And then when people really started to get into pheno hunting and finding,
Right.
different phenos, then it really took off. But I still have White Widow and White Rhino and a bunch of whites in my breeding lines. The old sativas I don't have anymore. I have the hazes. I have Neville's haze and Liberty haze and Keweenaw haze. But the old Afghan when it was first crossed with skunk, that's long gone. I haven't
Right.
seen it in so long. I think the oldest strains I have are about 20 years, maybe 25 at this point.
Wow.
So
And that's something for and do you since you've had those that long, do you store them special like I mean, do you keep them
um
just in a
they're
sealed
in
container?
they're in
Closet?
black film cases. Remember the old film?
Right, right.
They're in those cases in a refrigerator at my big brother's. They haven't been taken out in
Oh wow.
I have no
Wow.
idea how long. I don't know if they're any good anymore, but we
Yeah,
still have them.
yeah.
But like I said, they're all crossed into stuff now. So
But that's good. That's that's good. like that because I mean, the next question I want to ask. I did write down that you were called the Water Boy, and it was like a trade school. But
Pretty much.
why did you start breeding, and what motivated you um, to do it?
When I started breeding is because I wanted my own seed stock. I had found, what I liked the most, smoking. And I always went leaning towards more of the indica side of it than I did the sativa side of it. And there was a lot of sativa around. I mean,
Right.
tons of it. But there wasn't a lot of indica. And when I found the shorter, greener plants out of the stuff, that's what I wanted to try to keep. And since they were all regulars, no one had ever heard of no fem seeds back then because there wasn't any that I know of.
Right. Right.
And so I would take whatever male I could find that was short and, had a broader leaf structure and breed that to a couple of plants without my uncle knowing. And I did get caught twice, but I built up a pretty good seed stock, and then I went from there and I kept doing it. And then for a while, I didn't breed anything. I just bought seeds and didn't really get into breeding it again. And then once everything blew up and started happening, and they were bringing back so much stuff, then I started breeding the things I liked, like blueberry. When I first smoked blueberry, the original, I was like, yeah, this is great. But it was clone only, so
Oh, right.
I couldn't get a cut of it, or anything like that. And then when the seeds came out, I grew them and I was disappointed. I was like, wait a minute, man, this is not the blueberry I was smoking. And then I found out why, because it was crossed with, something else and then called blueberry 3. And I was like, all right, it does still have a little blueberry in it, but it wasn't like the original blueberry. But
So they
it was good.
basically just kind of watered it down.
They did, because the original blueberry, I don't know if you remember, but it smelled like blueberries. The smoke that came from it smelled like blueberries. And the color of the bud itself was dang near pure white because it was so trichome heavy that you really couldn't see any green in it. It was almost white. And everybody would be like, man, it don't look like blueberry. It looks like white weed. I'm like, no, it's that triked out, man.
When you taste it, you'll know the difference. You'll know.
And you open the bag and instantly, there was the blueberry.
There's the blueberry. Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
And you're talking your own seed stock, and that's kind of where I'm at, because I want to create my own seed stock, and I'm looking for something that, like you're saying, this is what I like, and it also will help the conditions that I have. But I think it's a big thing to create your own seed stock and then hunt for what you really, really like the taste. Is there anything else, any other favorites you got other than the blueberry?
The original skunk, the original Durban. I liked the Michoacan, really. I really did.
Oh, man.
When I first smoked, was it Panama? Not Panama Red, but the golds. I smoked both the golds when I was younger, and I grew them, and neither one of them turned gold. They didn't get that. They didn't get that light chocolate. So I was like, okay, maybe this ain't right. And then my uncle was like, well, yeah, but you're supposed to actually ring those plants. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, well, you cut a 2-inch strip out of the bottom of those stalks 2 weeks before they're ready to flower and be done in flower. And the plant will stop uptaking water and it'll just shoot everything to it, and it will turn a light chocolatey color. And I didn't believe him. I didn't believe him at first, but he was right about the Colombian gold and the Acapulco gold. They both did actually turn like a light brown, like a tan.
Once you kind of shaved off some of the...
Yeah, it's the same as stock splitting now. A lot of people, they'll do stock splitting. It's the same thing. It's girdling in the apple community and other places like that. That's what it's called. It's called girdling. And yeah, so that worked out. I was telling Day One about it, and he actually did it to one of his Colombian golds, I think. So It turned out good for him, I guess. But
And did it turn? Did he already finish?
yeah, day one already finished it. I told him that, man, what I was talking about was the 70s growing on top of a mountain, not sitting in your tent, but it was too late by the time I told him that.
Did it work out?
Yeah, he said it turned out great, and his mom said it tastes like what she remembered. So,
Oh man,
he did a great job with it.
Because I've got I had some old Durban, and they were crossed with skunk ones, and I sent them off to TC Garage. I sent 3 of them, and he got 2 of them to pop, and the other one is starting to split. So, and then they got some really long tails. So I'll be trying to get some of that back. So just like, because the Durban that used to always be one of my favorites, as long as you could get the Durban.
Well, the original Durban is black. It's a black plant. I haven't seen it since 91. I haven't seen it since 91. And everything I see now is a green pheno, which has been crossed. They turned it into an auto.
Right.
They turned it into a fast flower. And a lot of it's not the same as the original black plant. And because my first Durban poison was hash. It wasn't even weed. It was a big chunk of black hash.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And I was like, well, what is it? And my uncle's like, that's Durban poison. And then I seen the plants and I was like, man, they're black. They're not purple. They're black.
Well,
and he's
cool.
like, yeah, this is Durban poison. Then years later, I seen no black plants anymore. It was all just green plants. So
I think that's where everything is going.
Well, everything gets bred out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And these days, there's so many strains. Who's to say what is what and what's really in it? I mean, I don't know.
And you kind of gotta kind of trust where you're getting your genetics, because a lot of people are like, well, that's not Acapulco Gold. Well, you know what? They're telling me it is. I paid for it, and that's what it is. So that's what I'm going to call it. I can't call it anything that it's not. It may not. You could complain that it's not something you smoked in the 70s, but
I want to see it grown. I want to see how hardy it is. Is it mold resistant? Is it powdery mildew resistant? Is it halfway pest resistant? I mean,
right.
What do you have? I mean, I live in a 7B zone, which is, optimal for cannabis growth.
Right.
So, a lot of my plants will hit 16 and 18 feet, and people, well, those are huge, but it's where I live and what genetics I have.
Because I've seen a video of you and your wife pulling one down and then throwing the net over the top of it, and it was huge.
Yeah, the biggest plant I've ever grown was 22 feet.
Damn. 22 feet.
Tall.
Damn.
And 20 feet wide. Had 14, 16-foot branches on the damn thing. Yeah.
That could be the one that you guys leaned over. It's an older video, but it's all you leaned it all over, and I mean like you're talking, the branches, I mean, were probably that big around or something.
I usually tie my third net to my house on a couple of sides, so they're above my roof and stuff. So if you want to go up there and trim them down, you just get up on the roof and pop a couple off.
Man, that's crazy.
Anyone who don't believe me, you can go. They're all on video. I have videos of everything.
Because
a lot of people was like, you mean 8 and 6 feet, right? And I'm like, no, I don't mean 8 and 6 feet. But,
no. I've seen the one where your wife's standing out there and her hands are all wide across, and
try to guess
like that, and you can't. Yeah,
guess the height one. Yeah, she was like, everybody's like 2.5 wives. I'm 2.5 wives tall. I'm like, pretty close. Yeah.
Yep, it's tall.
Yeah.
It's tall.
Yeah, those were sativas. Those are super sativas that we bred out. That my wife doesn't really care for indica. she only likes sativa and super sativas because to her it's like coffee, you know.
Right.
It gets her up and gets her moving. So to her, that's the way she likes to go. I don't.
Actually, that's probably kind of the way I am. I like the indica. I like the indica body. I like the indica. I can harvest it in 8 weeks. But the sativa in my head is, I mean, that's actually what I look for because that's what I need. And so I'm with your wife there. Yeah, it gets me going. It keeps my mind moving, so it doesn't. It keeps me focused.
I'm with her, except for the 14 to 16 week flower time.
Right. See, that's the other part. Yeah,
that's where I kind of, because all my Odin stuff is done in 6 weeks, 6 to 7 weeks, and it's completely flowered out and done. But when you have her, with these super sativas that are 16, 17 feet tall, and that's only in the 3rd, 4th week of flower, and you're like, this is going to take till November.
only got 12 to go.
Yeah, and I'm like, this is never going to finish. You know that. I mean, this is a jungle plant, and we're not going to be that warm come November. So
no, that's a good point. That's a good point.
So now she only does the 12-weekers, so she can actually get them done.
Okay, I'll only do the 12 weeks.
Yeah.
But since you mentioned that, my next question was going to be, and I know you've done a lot, so maybe just bring up the couple of your favorites. But what strains have you produced? What are they crosses of? And why did you pick those particular strains to cross? Because I know you mentioned because you're an indica guy and you want to bring everything down, and you were saying 6 or 7 weeks of flower and they're done. So there you go. Sorry.
I've created way too many strains to count them anymore. I have 76 strains right now that are mine, but I'm in a family of breeders. It's just not me. People gotta, there's 6 of us in a circle, and a lot of it comes out of Odin. Odin's also a black plant that's done in 5 or 6 weeks.
Right.
And it's also really high in CBG. So it's really good for pain and mental issues. So it's a really good strain. And when I got it, I grew it out, and I was like, really, really impressed. It was kind of to me, a damn unicorn plant. Just the way it performed, the way that it was resistant to most shit, and just the fact that it was done so quickly. And it did have big ass colas, all over it. Like, well, hey, this is a 5-pound plant, and it only takes 6 weeks to flower out. I'm with it. So, and then another guy I know, Silver Squirrel Farms in Muskegon, Michigan, he'd been breeding since the 70s, and he started making strains for a woman who had cancer in 82. So he originally made his Silver Squirrel strain to help her. And then she passed away, a year later, and he started breeding a lot with a lot of other stuff, and he came to the same conclusion with Odin, and he started crossing Odin into a lot of stuff, and then they were all sent to me, and then I pheno hunted what I liked out of it and what I kept and bred back. And then my brother Double A Farms, he's originally from Mendo, he lives in Oregon. He's also was doing breeding back and pheno hunting in Oregon. That way we could get a wet climate, a dry climate, and a cold climate, and see if the plants would survive in all 3. And they did. They survived in all 3 with great results each time. And so from there, Odin's bitch became a thing, which is Odin cross boss bitch. And then you've got Odin's Frost and Odin's Frost Giant, and there's a lot of them. And right now I'm just dealing with I have a bunch of bloodline stuff that I have. I have an Odin line, I have a Freya line, I have a Loki line, I have a Valkyrie line, and I have a Thor's line. And for what's bred into, and then I also have the Valkyrie bloodlines bred off of Passion Orange Guava Juice, which was never released to the public. It was a Green Gold Collective seed project that 6 breeders were involved in, and they never sold it or gave it out.
Oh, heck
And
no.
I'm just happy to have a brother that was one of those breeders. And so I got the Pog line. So, and once I got the Pog line, I was happy because it tasted like Fruit Loop cereal and it smelled like it, and it was
No,
purple.
that's and you know, you can look at things because I'm not a real religious guy, but I'm a big karma guy, and I believe in you know, that was kind of that sounds like kind of a destiny thing where your brother was a part of something big, and he got to keep some genetics, and
Yeah.
because he loves you. Boom.
Yeah, you know, and he's, like I said, he's from Mendo originally, from Mendocino County. So he'd been growing all his life and he'd seen it his whole life.
Oh yeah.
So, I mean, 73, I mean, you know, it's 50 some years ago. So there you go.
Heck yeah.
But right now I have, that's coming out. I have 43 strains that I'm going to be dropping BX4s. It's Valkyrie's Tear, which is Odin cross Odin's Bitch, cross Freya's Frost, cross Durban Poison Auto, cross Polish Ruderalis on one side, and then it's got Passion Orange Guava Juice, Blueberry, and then it's got a let me see, it's got a grape back, grape ape, not grape ape, the other grape, Granddaddy Purple on the other side.
Oh, that's Wendy's favorite, that Granddaddy Purple. Can I ask you another quick question?
Yeah.
You mentioned the Ruderalis. Do you use Ruderalis seeds yourself, or is that something that came already crossed in?
No, we did, but that's 20 generations back.
Oh, okay.
So the only thing left from the Ruderalis is just the time.
Oh, right.
None of the structure, none of the flavor, nothing. None of that's in there. It's the only thing Ruderalis in these plants is just the time.
Just bringing down the flower time. Would you recommend
turning them auto? They're turned auto from the Ruderalis. I mean, that's, you know, because they're not photosensitive. They have a time period.
Right.
They'll grow that long, and that's it. You know. But that's all that's left in there. There's nothing, because the Ruderalis to start with was all CBD, and it wasn't very high in CBD either. But it was a bigger plant. It was like a 3-pound auto. So it was a great plant to start with. Instead of Lowrider 1 and Lowrider 2, I grew both of them, and Lowrider 2 was from Santa Maria, and that thing was not even a blunt, and it had maybe 2% THC in it. Now, when he did Lowrider 2, it was a bigger plant. You know, you got about 3 ounces off of it if you grew really well. And a lot of people use that when they made their autos. They use Lowrider 2 in a lot of it. And we didn't, because I didn't think the structure on it was very good. So I did the research on Ruderalis, and I found out that, you know, it was in Mexico, it was in Siberia, it was in Poland, it was just everywhere, you know, in that climates. And the Polish Ruderalis I could get my hands on back then. There was 3 kinds: Magic Hat. I can't remember. Man, it's so long ago. But there was 3 kinds anyway. One was Sativa Leaning, and the other 2 were Indica. So I chose the biggest Indica, which was that Polish Ruderalis. And you could buy 10 pounds of seeds for, I think it was $30. And there was and they weren't coming from Poland to you. They were coming to a hippie lady who had a little advertisement in the back of High Times, and she was selling it. And she had put it in there under hemp food or something like that, you know, hemp hearts or something. She was talking, you could fry it and eat it.
Damn.
So
no, that's cool. Now, see, that's some interesting stuff that a lot of people and I'm glad a lot of people showed up, and I'm glad we're talking about, because that's really interesting stuff. Now, I know you got some other strains, but if there was somebody out there in the chat, younger than myself, of course, but just getting started out and wanting to, maybe go down the same road as you. Well, I got another question for that at the end, but would you recommend them using the Ruderalis to start with if they were looking to do something like that, or would you recommend maybe looking somewhere else?
If I was them and I was going to be trying to make my own strains, I would just go with something that's already done.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And go from there. Going on, there's a lot that comes into growing and making one phenotype that you found. Sometimes it can take 16,000 plants for you to actually come to what you're really wanting. I know there's a lot of people out there that just STS one plant and breed it to a whole 10 of stuff, and then they call it their own and put their name on it and everything like it's their genetic. Well, that's not really making a genetic. That's just crossing two already stable genetics together.
Right.
They're not pheno hunting that out. They're not back crossing it to get it to where it needs to be. And to me, BX4 is when it basically comes where you want it, but usually there's still some drift in there too.
Right.
So by the time you get to about BX7 on there, you're pretty good. But that's it depends on what F you started with. You might have grown it to F21 and then found the pheno you wanted and then back crossed it. So it can take years.
Right. And that's what I was just gonna say. I mean, it's not like it's, well, you said it right, because I'm getting a bunch of seeds and now I'm done. Now there's a little more to it. I mean, I guess you could get lucky and say, oh, look at this, my first run, there's the one. But what are the chances of that?
About 1 in a million.
Exactly. Exactly. Because I imagine that first run, you're going to have all sorts of.
But then, if it wasn't a photo and if you were doing an auto and you didn't breed that auto back to itself to make an SP, then it's gone. You're going to have to find it all over again.
Right.
So.
Right. And I know we're a little off track there. And that's one thing with the autos is, I love autos. I got no heartburn with autos. I've grown them. I like growing them. I've grown a really huge auto before, but they've all got a place. But that's the one drawback. I can't clone it.
Yeah.
And then if I don't get pollen or start breeding back, you're exactly right. I've lost it. And now I gotta hunt again, and that might take forever if you even find it.
That's part of breeding is keeping pollen for one thing. It's only good for its real valuable 3 to 6 months. It can go as far as 9, but the idea really is to take those SP1s or whatever you go self-pollinated genetic memory farms. SP it means self-pollinated. So it's an STS plant that you sprayed one branch, it bred back to itself. You take those seeds from there, you pheno hunt that, you find what you were looking for in that female, and then it starts over again. You take that same pollen and you hit that plant with it. And then you keep going and back crossing, and you find each time you're going to go through that pheno hunt. And pheno hunts aren't small. I do small pheno hunts at 400 plants at a time. That's small.
Right.
So I'm not on a big scale. I don't have 80,000 plants in a warehouse with, a ton of rooms. I don't have that. I mean, we do have 2 commercial farms. Both my big brothers both own one. Now, they don't breed though. So they're basically, and most of their stuff went to concentrate. They sold it for concentrate, especially outdoor. Outdoor always went to concentrate here. And then the market dropped out because corporate cannabis came, and then it's gone. Right. So we won't have a commercial farm here anymore come July. They'll both be gone because we're not renewing. It's $35,000 and it's just not worth it. And that's per farm, so it's $70,000 total. It's just not worth it to us anymore.
And that's probably an annual renewal fee.
It's
Yeah.
every it yep. So it gets expensive quickly, especially when it was good until outdoor used to get $250 a pound for it for concentrate, and indoor you used to get anywhere from $600 to $900 depending on how good it was and
Right.
what it tested at and blah blah blah. And not anymore. Now indoor only goes for $350 and outdoor goes for $150.
Damn.
Well, there's one lady who owns 90 farms, and when she drops, at harvest, when she
right.
drops, the market goes down completely. And,
Right. Damn.
But it's gone. We had 8,000 farms, 2,600 dispensaries, and we had the most med cards anywhere in the U.S. We supplied 12 states with weed for the first 3 years. We made Time Magazine twice here in Oklahoma. But it's gone now. Top shelf here is $3. The market's dead either way. If you're thinking about making money off cannabis, Florida is going to be your best option because they have a med program, but it's not very good. But you can their weed's expensive there. You can make really good money if you're inclined to go commercial route.
Right.
Florida and New York would be the two best spots right now.
But then you have to move to Florida or New York.
Yeah, and you have to have $1 million. You have to have $1 million insurance, and I think $1 million for the license. So
Probably to buy in. Oh, I bet.
Arkansas was the same way when it started.
And that's kind of the sad thing is there are a lot of us out here that there's a lot of you out here that know an awful lot about growing and stuff, but you can't get into, you can't just drop $2 million and say, okay, now I'm going to give you however many gazillion dollars a year to renew.
Yeah.
You just can't do that. So some other rich person comes in and now they're going to take you and say, okay, instead of you making millions of dollars, I'm going to pay you $50,000 a year and we'll call you the master grower or something. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, in corporate cannabis, like Minerva's in 12 states. I mean, you know what I mean? They have stock on the stock market exchange. It's a cannabis stock. So these people have, hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars. You're not going to compete with that.
Right.
And they bought out all the small farms. They didn't even grow. My nephew's the head grower for Minerva here. And they didn't even grow for 2 years straight. All they did was buy out little farms everywhere. Bought all of their product.
And then what that does is it stops and they can just, now I own that and I'll just burn it.
Yeah. And craft
cannabis. You'll have to buy what I have.
Yeah. Craft cannabis went the way of the ghost, man. Now it's just production.
Right. Well, and if you think about it, I'll get off a little here. If you look at like the family farm, and I'm talking pigs, corn, soybeans, whatever you want to grow, those are going out of business. Pretty much the same thing, and it's big. It's big corporations that are buying them up.
Mm-hmm.
And that's too bad.
Yeah. A lot of people don't know how to grow and how to raise, how to hunt and how to fish. They just don't know how. They were never taught. And from what I've seen out here these days is a lot of men went really soft, My generation wasn't like that. So, I mean,
no,
we didn't cry. We rubbed dirt on it, got back up and ran for it,
Right. Used to go out and your mother would say, hey, you didn't have to, she didn't care where you went, but you had to be home before the street lights come on.
Yep. Street light.
Street lights come on.
You're getting the belt otherwise, sir.
Exactly. You better be in or your ass is getting beat.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the way it is these days. But
yeah, it got real soft. They nerfed the world, bro. When they nerfed the world, that's when it all went downhill.
Yeah, it did. So, what is your breeding process? I mean, because another part of that I had written down here is, do you have any new strains coming out? But
I do.
and maybe you can hit on those. But
Yeah.
what is your breeding process? I mean, like for myself, or you could say, okay, I'm looking for the sativa side. I'm looking for a little stretch, a little bigger. But on the indica side, I want it to be, 9 weeks, 10 weeks. What do you look for when you're taking two different?
Everything to me comes into the categories. Is the structure of the plant good? Can it take diversity? Is it mold or cold or wet resistant? I mean, how bad do pests migrate towards your plant? What is your production of THC, your trichome production, your resin production? How's your smell and taste? And can you grow it as good indoor as you can outdoor?
I'm
So
just
those
writing all these down.
basic criteria, and to me, structure is a main part of what I'm looking for in plants. I don't want something that's real frosty but only produces buds every 8 inches. I'm not looking for that kind of plant. Now I would take that plant and I would cross it with something that's heavy indica that will stack a 12-inch bud, and just look for the frost level from it. Look for the trichome production. But other than that, like, to me, if I find the strains that I know work on more than one level, because I'm not just looking to get high,
Right.
I'm looking to make a medicine, so they're going to take away your back pain, your headache. It's going to, it's going to do something for you. It's going to have CBG in it. It's going to have a little trace of CBD, some CBN, but mostly high CBG is what I look for. And to me, yeah, a plant has to be structured, and it has to be able to resist a lot of stuff, because a lot of people can't grow indoor. They don't have the space, or they live in an apartment building or
Right.
whatever. And that's also why I started making autos too, is, if you don't have space, they fit there. You stick three of
Right.
them in your little closet, shut the door, no one knows you're growing.
Right. And if you trained it enough, because I grew a little auto out here in a 3x3 tent, 207
Yeah.
grams. I'd have got more if I was better at scrogging. But
Yeah.
I scrogged the heck out of it, 207 grams out of just an auto. So,
Yeah.
I mean, if you've, and the reason we did that is just like you're saying, if I'm living in an apartment, I don't have space for a big 4x4,
No,
maybe even not that 3x3, but that auto could squeeze into something.
Most of my autos range between 4 and 6 ounces. That's where when I grow them. When a lot of the people I know that grow them too, they're right around in there. We don't have like 1 pound autos that you can grow. I don't have that, and I don't claim to ever have that. And I also don't claim that any of my autos are as strong as my photo versions of those autos, because I
Right.
have both. I don't just grow and breed autos. I grow photos and breed photos too. And I have some fem photos, but most of my photos are regs.
Regs.
Because I still use males for those. I still pick the best, biggest,
The best
strongest
one?
male with the best structure. You can smell him, he's got a nose. So I still use my males. So,
And I'll tell you, I've never grown regs until this go round, and I can tell you the prettiest thing, because I've grown some that I thought were pretty, and I thought, wow, that looks just like the package.
yeah.
I mean, it's sad when you're excited because, oh, that looks like the package. But this is the first time I've ever hunted for males, and I got this male in there, and he's going to turn out to be probably the prettiest thing I've ever grown. I mean, I mean, if you out there in the chat have never grown regs, man, you need to try it at least once, man, because it's exciting, and you're always in there. I'm always looking at stuff just to make sure I didn't make a mistake. I've started with the top dressing and stuff. That's all new to me, because I used to just be a bottom feeder. And it's a lot of getting back into nature, and there's a lot of therapy in, I think, growing the regs, because you're more involved.
Yeah, I think growing anything is therapeutic. I don't care if it's tomatoes, peppers, whatever, And I've noticed a lot of people, man, with their egos, my plant's bigger than yours, and I grow better than you do. And science says you should only do it this way.
Yeah. Well, you've probably seen some. I just go out there and I'm like, you know what? I feel like trimming some leaves, and I'll trim some. And I'm like, you know what? I don't feel like trimming them no more, and I quit. You know, it's I I want to do what the books say, but I haven't screwed anything up yet.
It's a little
So,
smoky, love. Just leave the door open, man. Oh, she left. My wife's in here smoking down, and it's getting smoky in here.
there's nothing wrong with that.
It is when you're only in this room, you know what I mean? And she just keeps going and going and going. Then you're like,
Yeah, but that's you gotta love her though, man.
oh yeah, my wife, she loves weed. She hasn't missed a day in I think over 8 years.
And,
She smokes about an ounce a day, ounce to an ounce and a half.
that's damn, that's good. Yeah, I used to do about a gram, about a gram or so, pretty
Yeah.
close myself. But yeah, and you know, before we move on, that's another thing. I just want to point out that a lot of us out there in this community. I mean, one, we got friends in the community, but it's our loved ones and family members that really help us to keep us kind of
Rounded.
grounded. So I just want to say a shout out to all the family members out there.
Yeah, for
And-
sure.
And you were talking about because I want to hit the THC because THC that's not a driving because I know a lot of if you're in big corporate growing, I know a lot of those guys are. It's all about can I get 30%? Can I get 35%? Can I push more? And it doesn't sound like that's a big driving factor for you because like me, I'd rather have the lower THC, a little more CBD, CBG, a little more terpene profile.
Yeah, I don't really have anything under 26%, but I've seen some strains, especially Banana OG, hit 32% and sell it for $2 a gram because it wouldn't get you high. But the White Widow that tested at 17% beside
Right,
it would
right.
stone you.
Right.
So when it comes to testing, it's all over the map. It depends on what they did and what they didn't do. Since they only needed to test like 1 ounce per 10 pounds, how do you know they didn't give you the same bud that tested at 32% for every strain? You don't.
Oh no, that's a good point.
You don't.
That's
And
a good
then they were taking ultra fine was it cornmeal or cornstarch? Cornstarch. And they were spraying buds with it and it looked like trichomes. It was that is really lightweight colored.
You know,
and
I
they were
can
spraying it.
believe that. Just to get
So people were buying it for bag appeal. They were like, oh wow, look at how many trichomes are on this thing. And then they'd smoke it and get a weird taste, and they'd be like, "Well, it had a weird earthy, weird taste to it.
weird earthy cornstarchy kind of taste.
Yeah, kind of like I was eating sweet corn.
Yeah.
You pretty much were, man.
No, that's that's cool. That's cool. I was gonna ask something else, and because the THC, because like you, I prefer the lower, because I think it gets me higher the lower, because if you remember back in the 70s, the stuff you got out of the back of some guy's car, I mean, that wasn't in the 20s. I don't imagine.
No, the old sativas were right around 15 to 17%, somewhere near there. Yeah.
And they were good.
Yeah. And plus the entourage effect too with the terps. The terps do matter. I mean, if you have stomach pains and stuff like that, limonene.
That's
terp,
right here. That's me, limonene.
Yep. Limonene will be probably your favorite because it does help your digestive system. It takes away cramps. It helps with, a lot of pain there. Helps with acid reflux. And then you go, yeah. So to me, yeah, I like a lot of different stuff, but limonene And there's a few others, but yeah, I would say lemonine is most likely my favorite too. My favorite strain ever was lemon skunk. So
There you go. Because I got some kind of mango mandarin or something like that I'm trying out. It's okay, but
the
um,
original Agent Orange, if you can find that, man, that thing is really good. But it has to be the original. I don't know what they've crossed. They probably crossed too many things by now.
it's probably
But
it's probably all crossed out.
yeah. Well, it wasn't 10 years ago, but I don't know now though, you know. But it's a really good strain if you can find it. Agent Orange is really good. It's better than Tangy, and Tangy's a pretty good strain as well.
Yeah, yeah,
So
that was pretty good.
yeah.
That was really good. I was going to ask another real quick off the cuff kind of thing, but then I forgot about it because I'm having a good time. I mean, I know the they're having a good time out there in the chat. I mean, because you're laying down a lot of good info. I appreciate you, and I haven't had the opportunity to tell you thank you for coming on and stuff. But
Thanks for inviting me. You know.
and yeah, a lot of stuff. I mean, because I love the stories about. Um, well, I'll guarantee you, nobody. Well, there's some probably out there that knew. You know, you had brothers that had, you know, the two businesses. You had all the farms and stuff like that. Where you learned to grow and stuff like. I mean, yeah. So far, that's really interesting stuff that people probably didn't know about you.
So most people who really know me do, because my big
Right.
brother lives right next door and he's 70 years old and he still grows a test garden right out front too.
Oh man.
So there's some people in the chat like AJ who's in this chat. He's been to my house plenty of times. He's seen both test gardens, and SOS is a breeder here in Oklahoma as well. He's been here at a party we had where we were
Oh
taking
wow.
down the test gardens, and so there's quite a few people in here that do know. I've been on YouTube for 12 years. I've lost a lot of channels and I've burned some channels. So, and
Yeah.
when it come down to it, the ones I burnt is because the drama got so hard that people were doxing each other, man, and swatting each other's houses. And I was like, this is not what the 420 community should be. Y'all should be stoned and laughing and just helping each other,
Oh,
you
trust me,
know?
I know what you're talking about.
So it got pretty deep. And I
But
was like, yeah, I'm not a part of it.
but 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 it's always good to most of the people, I'd say 98% are really good people and they really want to be part of the community. They want to help people and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
most people are good natured, which
Yep. Yep.
which is good. I'm gonna ask another question
Mm-hmm.
here at about the halfway mark. Because you mentioned you had channels and everything like that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, could you kind of tell us a little bit about your channel, maybe a little bit about your social media sites? I just want to be
Sure.
careful because I am sitting on, yeah,
Yeah.
those, yeah.
I'm on
So,
YouTube, Rumble, Odyssey, BitChute. I have a Discord and Grow Diaries and Gab and Minds. And I used to be on Twitter when it was Twitter,
yeah,
but I left that because that's all that it all became politics, and I like
yeah,
no more for that.
yeah.
So I'm on all those platforms right now. When I first started YouTube, YouTube back then, there really wasn't a lot of people growing back then. They weren't showing a lot of videos. That was 18 years ago when I first started, watching videos and messing with YouTube. Then when I built my channel, I was doing a lot of hunting and fishing, and I tattooed for 25 years. So I was putting a lot of that on there. And I've been a blacksmith and a bladesmith for a long time. So I was putting that on there. And then I started growing once Michigan went legal. I started putting grow videos up, and I got the first channel taken down because all I did was I had weed, an AR, and I was skinning a deer, and you could see the weed in the background, the deer hanging, and the AR setting, and they just took the channel, deleted everything
They
quick.
just said, "Ooh, we're not gonna have that."
No. So there went 3 years of growing videos right there, just gone. And I didn't back it up because at the time I wasn't, I wasn't thinking about backing up videos onto drives or
No,
anywhere else,
no, nobody thinks of that.
So
They,
I
they, they
lost
think
it.
about it now.
Yeah. After they take a couple, you're like, all right, this can't
All
happen
right,
again.
we're
You know. So I figured that out. And after I figured that out, I had 7 years worth of growing on YouTube when I burnt the last channel. I had a morning show that we did for 2.5 years every morning at 10 a.m. And I just, like I said, the drama got so bad, I burnt that channel too. And I left for a while. And then I came back because I was hoping, and most of the people that were there in that drama crap left too. So when I came back, they weren't they weren't around anymore. And I went looking for newer growers and, people who really hadn't been growing a long time, and seeing how their stuff was going, how their communities were working. And I seen some where some people would still come up and, you got to do it this way, you got to do it that way, science says this and blah 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 blah. And me, you can always learn, you should never stop. I mean, you'll learn to the day you die. If you don't, then you're going to be stuck in whatever way you're in. But and knowledge is written and wisdom is doing. So you
right.
learn a lot by doing more than you're going to learn by reading.
Man, that's good. I'll have to use that sometime.
Yeah. And the other one to me is don't be afraid to fail. Don't be afraid to fail. You ain't got to listen to these guys like, oh, rip up that plant, throw it away. It's got yellow leaves on it, man. You screwed it up from the beginning. Kill it and get another one. No, man, just fix your mistake. If you can't fix your mistake with that plant, then why are you growing? You're going to grow a perfect plant every time, no matter what.
Not
So you're telling me that this one system for every genetic is going to work? No,
no.
it's not. But
and you can see that if you were to grow two different strains in the same, you could grow them in the same pot, but could you feed them the same?
Exactly. And can the one take as much feed as the other?
Exactly. Or when I feed the one and it's perfect, the other one is like, hey, I'm a little hungry. Yeah.
So there's no one way to grow anything. There's no one way to germinate a seed.
Right.
Some people paper towels, some people water, some people straight to soil. I've seen even some people put them in water and peroxide and stick them in a window. And I'm like, they don't need light. A seed doesn't need light to germinate. And so, but either way, as long as it worked for you and it happened, then good.
Right.
Good. And I don't care if your plant only produced 9 grams. At least you grew it.
You grew it.
You know what's in it. It's yours.
And the next time you'll know how you did it, and you'll be like, okay, I did this last time. I only got 9 grams.
You know what worked
a little bit
and what didn't. And you stick with what worked, and then you learn more of what works, and you keep going and going and going.
Right, because if you didn't make mistakes, you wouldn't learn anything.
Exactly. You would never learn anything.
You just do the same thing all the time.
Yeah, it's in the doing,
Yeah. Or are you looking? Are you thinking about uploading a lot more content or anything like that?
No, I'm retiring after this year.
Oh yeah.
I won't be growing or breeding anymore after this year. I'm done.
Oh man.
It's not because I don't want to. It's just that I can't anymore. It's medical. So.
Oh no, no, I totally get it. I totally get that. I got, because I'm gonna still try to do what I'm trying to do, but I'm gonna try to shrink the footprint down to, instead of, because I gotta here's your plant count. So hey, I better grow everything that I can grow because I got a plant
Yeah.
count, but I'm too old for that.
Yeah, it's
you know
coming
what?
down to that.
I'll grow fewer. Maybe I can grow them a little bit bigger, but I can't spend that much time taking care of them or harvesting, and then yeah, it's a lot of work. You're right.
Yeah, well, last year was pretty much it for me. It pissed me off because I got real sick and everything, but I planted 6,000 plants in the backfield.
Oh damn.
They were about 5 foot tall. A damn tornado came
Oh shit.
and
Oklahoma.
goodbye 6,000 plants, and I was so
Yeah.
mad. I was like, I'm not doing this anymore. Told my
And
big
you know
brother, I
what?
was like, I'm just not doing it. It's too much work for me, and with the medical crap going on, I can't spend 10 hours a day out there, with everything plus 6 other people. I just can't do it. So,
That all rolls back to the beginning when we were talking about like um maybe that's a sign, you know. I'm not a real religious guy, but I'm a destiny, karma. Maybe that was just a sign.
it
It's just
was
like, hey,
just, it
you need to
was done
take
for
care of
me.
yourself. I'm gonna rip up these 6,000 plants, and yeah,
Yeah, that was the ending for me and big
yeah,
growing.
that's too bad though.
I was like, no more, and my oldest daughter's been growing since she was 18, and she's been growing 7 years, and she's been breeding for 6.
Oh man,
So she's gonna take over and do her thing. Her lines are different than mine. She likes more towards the candy and the cake and those kind of strains. And
right?
she don't smoke. She only does edibles. So that's where she's going with her stuff. And she's already got stuff out there. Like AJ here in the chat, she made the sugar star apple for him because he likes sugar black rose. He's a sugar
Right,
black
right. He
rose.
does. Yeah,
So
everything is sugar black
yeah,
road.
she made him a star apple, which was a sugar black rose crossed the star dog, crossed the pineapple upside down cake.
Damn.
She made that for him. He's the only one that's ever grown it. She made the 3 pogs that she made was passion orange guava juice crossed wedding cake, strawberry shortcake, and sunset sherbet. She made those and bred them out and pheno hunted them. So it pretty much it's up to her from here on. From here on
She
out.
sounds like she went to the same trade school that you went to.
Yeah, I put her through the same way I did it. I mean,
Oh yeah,
she's been around it her whole life too. I mean, yeah, you don't show kids in cannabis. I get it, but it's always been in the life, and she's always seen it from me. So, it is what
right.
it is. I mean, my second oldest daughter has Dravet's epilepsy. She's on CBD. CBD has been the only savior. It doesn't stop all of her seizures because of the condition she has, but it's been the one thing that has calmed them down to where she doesn't have that many. And
Well, that's good.
and I have to give a big huge shout out to the California boys for it, because 2 of them went to prison for 25 years for doing it, and another 3 risked a 3rd strike for making cherry wine CBD to help with epilepsy in children. So huge shout out to the Cali growers. I'll always give them praise.
Yeah.
Period. The men up there, they didn't care about their own life. They were they could have never got out of prison, and they didn't care. They were willing to risk their lives to help children. To me, that says all you really need to know about
Yeah.
cannabis growers.
And see, that's the thing that a lot of people don't understand is they stick us in there with
Drug dealers. Everybody's
yeah,
like,
exactly. I was trying to think of how I could say heroin, and without saying it, but they tie us in there with all of those,
and yeah,
and
and
all we want to do is have a party, eat some chips, and hang out.
yeah. See, the problem I always seen with that is the government's what pushed us. I mean, all of our forefathers grew hemp, all of them, from
Right.
George Washington to John Adams to everybody. And even King George, he taxed us because we didn't grow enough hemp in America. So there you go for that. But when they made it go underground, of course the drug dealer on the corner is going to have weed, but that's not all he's going to have. Because
Correct.
he knows that cocaine in his pocket or that meth or whatever he had is going to get him more money for a smaller amount, and he giving out free samples. Here, try this, try this, try this.
Right.
Instead of just letting us home grow and have our own. So that's where I think they messed up with that. And then they lumped it all in with it, especially when
Yeah.
class 1, man, with heroin.
Schedule 1, yeah. It's like, really?
Schedule, really, dude? Coke isn't here, but this is. Are you
Right,
sure
right.
about this?
Exactly.
And then I remember the study the government didn't release. They said that it cannot be because Harvard, Oxford, everything said it had medicinal purposes, and you could use it as a medicinal plant and had been throughout time. They did a study where they put a monkey in a 4x4 box, and they put in 12 pounds of smoke from 12 pounds of weed in that box with no oxygen. They completely closed the box, and they said the weed killed them.
Yeah. Well, you could have pumped it full of grass smoke, or
he died of smoke inhalation with no
Yeah.
oxygen. But
Yeah.
that's the government's excuse. That was their one trial that they proved it.
Yeah. That's too
I was
bad.
like, man, once I learned that history, I was like, this is just messed up, man.
It's crazy.
What kind of world do we live in, really? I mean, if Columbia, the District of Columbia, DC, bought Columbia's national product all the way through the 60s to almost the 90s, and what their two national products was cocaine and coffee.
Yeah.
Now, we were the biggest importer of both.
Yeah.
Where did all that cocaine go? Were dentists giving out cocaine everywhere, or what?
Oh man, that's some crazy thinking. But yeah, because I've read where there's like there's one company in the whole United States that can import cocaine. One company.
Yeah. Now the CIA.
They're probably watching.
Yeah,
us.
they're watching us now.
Oh,
They
yeah,
mentioned
they are.
us. The algorithm just kicked in.
I have 2 questions left, and then we'll open it up, and Winnie can look for some questions and stuff out there. I know we may have hit on it before. New strains coming out. I don't know if you had an opportunity to. I may have interjected before you had an opportunity.
I wrote down 10 that I have out of the 43.
Damn.
And what the backgrounds of them are.
I'm looking for. I'm just trying to do one.
Spending a lot longer.
Well, yeah.
We'll just pick one. We'll pick
Pick your favorite.
My favorite out of these. My favorite out of this Valkyrie line is the Grapes of the Gods.
Grapes of the Gods.
Yeah, it's Odin cross Odin's bitch, cross Freya's frost, cross frost plant, cross DPA, cross the Polish on one side, and the other side it's Pog, cross the Pog Sunset Sherbet, then it's cross the double grape, and then it's back cross, and then it's cross the banana strawberry.
Wow.
But it keeps that grape always comes out in it. So it was a beautiful thing. They're on the BX4s right now. I've got 400 of them going next door. And I've got a test group from the BX3s in the tent behind me. There's 43 strains in there. And I'm stressing those as much as I can. I've hit them with 9 on the pH. I've hit them with 3. I'm just overwatering them, underwatering them. I'm overfeeding them. I'm underfeeding them. I'm smacking them. I transplanted them a couple of times now. I'm just trying to make any mistake that any first grower would make, or, overwatering is usually a really big one with first-time growers. So I'm just trying to do anything I can to them to make sure that they're what I call idiot-proof.
Right, and that's a good point, because I've done some of that inadvertently when I'm trying to do this. But I mean, that's a good point if you're gonna do breeding for a while, is stress them out and figure out. Right there, that's a good point. The whole the overwatering part, because new growers, they're like helicopter parents. It's like, oh, it's
They want to touch it.
I
Yeah,
better
they
water it.
looking
And
at
then
it
they're
every
like,
20 minutes, touching them.
Oh, the leaves are a little droopy. He must be thirsty. She must be thirsty. Oh no, wait a minute. You just watered them, but I better give them some
Yeah.
more. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no, that's a good point.
Overwatering it's a huge factor in new growers. I also won't pest. I also test mine with pests, with aphids, with ants, with everything I can outdoors. I wish I could indoors, but I really don't want a pest infestation
No,
indoors.
no.
So I can't. I didn't test these yet, but these will. I will throw 400 out in April. You know, and I'm going out with a bang. I'm growing a lot of Mendo this year. I've been growing their stuff for a long time, 8 years now. I'm going to be growing a pretty good sized garden. Well, we still can, and it's my last year, so usually we get between 60 and 90 pounds per test garden. So I'm gonna head north of 200. Let's see what I
Damn.
can hit, and we'll be testing. I think 1,200 autos total between me and my big brother out of the BX4s that will be done. They'll be done in March. The BX3s are already done, and I'm testing those right now. But I've still got drift in them. I've still found 7 phenos that have 2 different phenos in those seeds.
Oh wow.
They didn't actually just stay uniformed. There's still drift in them. And I'm thinking there's still going to be a little drift in the BX4s, so I won't know until they're tested out. But like I said, that'll be March. And the good thing for me is I also have a growing family here on YouTube that are testers for me that also grow the stuff for me as well and see what they think of it. And I have, two really good testers that beat plants up. I mean, they're like, whoop that trick, you know what I'm saying? They really put them through the ringer. And if they don't survive them, then we don't usually put them out. But if they can survive me and them, you pretty much just have to give the plant water and you're good.
Right. Because you don't want it to jump out there, herm, or
no,
be all weird.
I have never used a herm genetic plant either. I have never anything. If it hermed, it's gone, and anything that grew seeds in that place, they're all gone too. They're all in the fire pit burning for that night sky because I don't want the genetic at all in my stuff. Not one bit.
Because that's the way I feel about the herms. Because it's like, okay, it hermed for a reason, and that reason, maybe I made it herm, but something genetically in there.
Well, you could get to the end of life, which is rotalization, when the plant's right at the end of its life and it thinks it's dying. It will throw seeds in, but you will find those seeds right tight in the inside of the bud, right up tight to the actual stem.
Oh, okay.
Those you will find. But when your plant's in the 4th week of flower and all of a sudden you start getting nanners and you start getting pollen, that's the genetic that's hermed inside it. It's totally different between that and rotalization and which I call end of life, because the cannabis plant will pollinate itself at the end of life. It's like in high stress situations, you can make it herm too. But even if it's in a 5th week of flower and you cut 60% of the plant, it's same thing. It thinks it's dying. It's going to start throwing. Now, most of them, that I have won't do that even if you do it. But I do have 3 autos. I know if in the 5th week of flower, you cut it in half and try to clone it, you're going to herm it. You're going to herm that plant because it's going to say, look, dude, you killed me. Yeah. So those, and I don't breed them anymore. I don't breed those 3 strains and I don't give them out. So.
Oh no, that makes perfect sense. Real quick, everyone out in the chat, they want to know how to get, they want to know if they could become a tester or how they could become a tester.
No, I don't make people testers anymore. And I gave away 4,000 seeds for free this year on YouTube.
Oh, wow.
And I paid the shipping. So it was all out of pocket. And only 30 people who asked me, hundreds of people asked for the seeds, but only 30 people actually grew them. And those
yeah.
people that grew them, and some people have been growing for me for 6-7 years. AJ has been growing with me for a long time. And
Oh, he's good.
the people who grew the seeds, and didn't lie to me, they'll get free seeds from me again. They'll
Right.
get the BX3s, which is what I still consider a tester. They'll be getting those all in March. I'll be giving them to all the 30 people I know that grew the plants, that didn't lie about it. They took them and they did what they said they were going to do. I mean, if all the people that asked for them were just saying, well, I want to collect them, I would have never sent them.
Correct.
Seeds, they were meant to be grown. They weren't meant to be just stockpiled in your little box with your 500,000 other seeds. It's just not what they were for.
I got a tub like that. It's full.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sitting on 300 strains right now, but
damn,
I grow them still,
Right. Damn. Last question, and then we'll see if we can get some other questions up. Oh, but I got another one before we hit that. You talked about testing earlier, and I know once I get working on here, I'll get my seeds. I'll start pheno hunting. I'll grow those, and then I'll get those tested. Do you test it? Do you have one place where you? Well, first, I know you probably test them, and then do you have a special place where you take them, or you take them to a couple of different places, or you just trust one company?
Around here, we have 3 places that we take for testing to go to market. It's the same thing. And 2 of them usually come back right around the same range, but there's one that always tests lower. Everything comes back lower, and I believe him more than I believe them. But I don't know how, the state's supposed to calibrate this stuff, which I can't say that that's true or not. But the guy who always tests lower, I feel he's more honest with everything, and I think that he's just more thorough. The other ones are testing a lot of stuff for a lot of people. So they might tack on a couple of numbers that shouldn't be there.
Just to make it look impressive, or?
Yeah, to make, well, if you have 3 statements, right, you're going to pick the best statement that has the highest constant, that's the one you're going to turn in to the state. You're going to turn that one in. You're not going to turn in the one that's lower because, like you said, they all want the 34% THC. They all want the 32 because that's all they're going by is the high THC and bag appeal. And I don't care. Like I said, Banana OG tested out at between 32 and 34%. It sold for $2 a gram because no one wanted it because it wouldn't get you high. It wouldn't get you high.
Yeah, see,
it tastes like Banana OG, sure, but was it really 34%? No, not even close.
And that's the thing with me anymore. I don't even look at I look more for the taste. I don't even look at the if I was to buy something at a dispensary, it's all. I don't even look at the THC anymore. It's all about what terpenes do I think I'm going to get out of this?
Yeah.
What's the taste going to be?
Yeah.
Because you're right. I mean, a lot of them are fairly weak, but yeah, I've lined up a place that's going to test my stuff. But the last thing, and then we'll jump around and we'll just BS for another 40 minutes. What advice would you give to, say, the new grower or the new breeder?
Don't be afraid to fail is the biggest one, because you're going to fail. Just don't be afraid. Don't let it stop you from going forward. Just keep moving. If one way doesn't work, it's like Edison. He figured out 10,000 ways not to make a light bulb.
No, that makes sense.
And keep moving. I mean, and always learn. You know what I mean? Don't stop learning. Don't think that there's only one way to do something, because there's not. The old saying, there's more than one way to skin a cat, is true. And when you find something that really works for you, like germinating and so on, stick with it. Don't let anybody talk you out of it. If it works, keep working it. I mean, there's nothing, about that you could say. And it's not a zero-sum game no matter what.
Right.
Any plant can die at any time during its life cycle. It can take a hit from unknown variables that you don't see or know about. And don't beat yourself up about it. Just go on, pop another one, man. Let's just keep going. I mean, you'll find everything that works, and keep journals when you're new growers and new breeders. Keep everything written down. Every time you watered them, what you gave them, what soil you used, what you amended with, what hydro you're running, and everything in it. And see whenever, because with your journals, tell you when you made a mistake so you don't make that mistake again. Same with breeding. You keep all your lines and all your pollen and everything else still in that same book, in a book. And each strain run down that whole line, and you'll see where it drifted, where you found another pheno, so on and so forth that you wanted to keep, and how you kept it. Did you, with photos, you can clone them and go from clone.
Right.
But with autos, you can clone an auto. You can do it, but it'll only be about this big, and you can reverse that little clone and get pollen from it and keep it. Now, would you clone an auto to get any kind of mass to smoke? No, you wouldn't. But you can clone an auto. You can clone it. It's just going to be a very short little thing, but you can also reverse it and get pollen from it that way.
And that would be the main reason for cloning it.
That'd be the only reason I would ever do it. And I have done it. But I've seen other people do it to grow it. And I'm like, okay, you grew a blunt. There was, you stunted it for 3.5 weeks and it went into flower a week after you grew roots.
And you spend all that money on your newts and stuff.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
And I don't down anybody. I'm not a chem grower. I'm an organic grower and a no-till grower outdoor. I don't knock anybody for using chems if that's the way you want to grow our salts. Like I said, whatever works for you, go ahead. I mean, there's not, and I'm not, fertilizer companies, once you're sitting there sponsored by them, which I had a lot of sponsors too. But they wanted a lot from me and they wanted me to lie. And I gave them all up and said, no, I don't want to. I don't want to lie about your light. I don't want to lie about your nutrients. I don't want to lie about your seeds. I just don't want to do it. And I didn't want to make 3 videos a week with all your things in the description.
Right. Here's my tent. Ooh, look at that. Oh, here's the controller. Yeah. And
you had to put 37 of their websites for 37 countries in your description. And, here's your 8% discount. 8%. I was like, 8%, really? That's like not even the tax, man. Come on.
Right.
But yeah, so I got rid of those.
And we've had like a company, when we did a giveaway, they're like, well, hey, we'll send you this. It was all it was an extension cord that was programmable or something. And it was probably like $70. But it might have been only 50. But in order for me to give it to you, because you won, now you have to sign up to their webpage. You have to sign up for some kind of note, some kind of, there was 4 things you had to sign up for. And I just said, oh, no, thank you. And we moved on, because I'm not going to have, well, here's a free gift, but, you got to put up with all the spam to get it. Nah, that's bullshit.
Yeah. I was sponsored by Seedsman, Garden of Green, Mars Hydro, Spider Farmer, Time Lapse, Gorilla Grow Tent, and Electric Sky. And I gave up all of them. And I also gave away all their gear.
Heck yeah. Yeah.
So,
Season and I, we've never seen eye to eye. They won't. Yeah, they don't have nothing to do with us, because I complained about the seeds. They were always mutants, or they.
Yeah, there was a lot. And I also had the same problem, because lemon skunk was my favorite plant. It pretty much still is one of them. And I got a 10-pack, they were sending me seeds. I got a 10-pack of them. I popped 4 of them. One's a mutant. 2 are twins out of the same branch. They widened and split. And then another one wasn't even lemon skunk. There was no lemon or skunk in that plant.
Yeah.
I don't know what it was or where it came from, but to me, they must have had like bins, and we were just filling up stuff and maybe touched another
No,
bin
yeah.
or something. And I was like, all right, this is enough.
Yeah,
Now,
because I had the same problem with them
yep.
because I wanted to do a review because they send you something and I got one seed to pop out of 40 and that thing only grew about 5 inches tall. So I complained about it and they said, well, you can't fill out a review because you should have done that with the email receipt that we sent you because there's a link on there. So if you don't keep the emails that they send you, then you're not allowed. Yeah, I had a fit with that.
Yeah,
They
our
didn't like
best,
they,
our
they did
best
send me free seeds, but
even better. Our best one was an auto that was supposed to be 70 days and it grew for 9 months and it went in and out of flower. And I contacted them and showed them all the videos and they're like, well, we'll replace it and give you 10 extra exotic strains we have. And I was like, nah, you're good. Just keep whatever you have. I don't want no more. I'm good. So
that's just my evening alarm saying your medications need to be taken.
yeah, mine's in 30 minutes.
Yeah, I do mine at 6:30. just so that when I go to bed, I'm good. Yeah. Yeah, this is. But that's good good information for new breeders and stuff. The whole, because I always say the same thing. You be you. I mean, I can tell you what I do, but by all means, what I do is probably not close to being right. But you can take something of what I do. You can take something about what you do, something that somebody out in the chat does, and then make up your own. Take little bits and pieces from everybody.
Yeah, that's fine. All I ask of new breeders is please don't grow 20 strains in a tent. STS one plant, breed it to all 20, and then call it your genetics. Please don't do that. Just tell people what you crossed and that they're getting a BX1 or an F2 or an F3, whatever they're getting. Just tell them that's what you're giving them. Don't call it your blueberry pie crumble. Just tell them what it is and let them grow it. And if they grow it and they like it, then they can keep it. Because to me, once the seed is in your hand, it's yours.
Right.
What you do with it's up to you.
Right. Oh no, I totally agree. I mean, it's not like you're sending something off that you've got a patent on, or you can say, hey, you can do anything you want with it, but I need royalties or credits or something.
I mean, because if you did that, I'd have to give my uncle credit, and he'd have to give Pedro credit, and then it'd have to go all the way back through there, and all the way back to the early 70s in Afghanistan. And then you'd have to give all them credit and just keep going.
Yep.
So no, that part, like I said, once that seed's in your hand, it's your seed. What you do with it, hopefully you do the breeder justice, with what he made, and you liked it enough to keep it, and if you didn't, tell him, hey man, this grew like crap. I don't like it. I ain't growing it again, because the feedback's always welcome. And if anyone treats you badly because you say that the plant grew crappy, then he's really not caring about what that plant really did. He's just his ego tripping.
Right.
He's just ego tripping, man.
Because he's not looking. He's not looking to better.
No.
What he's producing to give to people in the community. He's just trying to throw stuff out.
Yep.
And hey, everybody, tell me how great I am.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. There's
a lot of ego, man, comes into play with that stuff.
I was just going to say, there's a lot of those guys out there.
There is.
Yeah. I mean, I try not to be one. Every once in a while, I get in trouble, but
I mean, now if you're really messing up really badly, and you grow one of my plants and it only goes 3 inches tall, I'm gonna say, hey bud, you stunted it. You did something wrong in the beginning, bro, because it never should have turned out that way. If my cousin, who can't grow to save his life, can throw Fox Farm in a 3-gallon pot and only give that plant water and molasses its whole life, and grow a big plant, decent sized plant out of that, you did something to it, man.
That's funny.
Check your pH, check your, check everything. Something happened. Try it again.
That is so
that don't
funny.
look right. But I don't give them a hard time telling them they're the worst grower in the world and you suck.
Well, no, because there's enough of that out there. I mean, they don't want they're trying to do something good and to make you proud because you are the breeder of that, and then for you just to rail on them, it'd be like, well, I'm never going to grow any of that guy's stuff again. I mean, damn. Yeah. I mean, and people don't need that.
No one needs to be, completely downed harshly. I mean, joking around with somebody's one thing,
Right.
Just,
right.
Ribbing them a bit, oh, look at your node spacing, bro. You could have done better, man. Why didn't you top that more, Just, giving them a little bit of crap is fine. Because it's all in good humor, it's not serious.
Right.
But there is a lot of people out here that, and a lot of them, if you didn't do it their way, then you aren't doing it the right way. Nah, I'm good on that. You do it your way. And if it works your way, don't fix it. It's working.
Yeah. If it's not broke, don't fix it.
Exactly. And I've always been a KISS guy, keep it simple, stupid.
Hell yeah.
It's the best logic in life that my uncle ever told me, that and the 5 Ps, right? I mean, so other than that, I really don't know what to tell them.
Yeah. There's nothing else other than that. But Wendy, do we have any questions we want to ask? Anybody out there have any questions they want to bring up? Anything you want to talk about, Bear?
I think we pretty much covered everything, bro, that I had written down from what she sent me. So,
oh no, that's
good on that.
Oh no, it's a lot of stuff. I've really had a good time.
I got like 5 pages.
Well, hey, if you got anything else, feel free to.
Nah, I was just gonna give
Lori.
lines.
Lori wants to know the 5 Ps.
Really?
She probably doesn't want to know.
Proper preparation prevents poor performance.
There you go. Proper preparation prevents poor performance.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's really 4, but we always throw the 5th one in there, and I'm not going to say that one.
Yeah.
That one had a little bit of something to do with something else, and my uncle was always so. Well.
See, and I'm glad that you went with the what you went with.
Yeah. I kept it a little PG because I'm not offending any ladies. I'm not going to go
that.
Not going to go there. So.
But yeah, I mean that's all. I think that goes into any kind of anything that you're doing is, you gotta have prepare and plan. I mean, that's pretty much what you're talking about right there.
Yeah, you should always have a goal. I've always found that if people have a goal and they write it down and they can look at it, it stays in their mind more and they shoot for it. You know what I mean? They actually have something that they're aiming at, not just seeing what's going to happen. And that usually helps. It helps a lot of people more than they think it does.
Well, yeah, because we used to, and here's another question. Can you recommend any resource about breeding? Because that's the way we used to do it is in the military to think about.
There's a lot of old books out there that I would say are good, but then there's a lot of new stuff that I wouldn't recommend. And to me, I mean, breeding's really not that hard. It just takes a long time. That's really all I can say. Anyone can breed a plant. I mean, especially cannabis. You can throw male pollen onto any female out there. It's just, what are you shooting for? You have to have something in mind. And first you have to have the strains that you like and what you like about them, structure-wise, the taste, everything about them that you like and you think they would work great together. So, I mean, and ask questions of every breeder you know. If you see him, you want to know something, ask him because he's doing it. That would be better than any book I could point you towards because they'll probably just give you the scientific definition of breeding, really.
And Gyro, he's got something up here for your retirement. You should write the Book of Odin.
Yeah, no.
That was pretty fast.
Thanks, Gyro, but no, I'm not allegedly incriminating myself for anything. Yeah, a strong male is really good. A lot of people, when they look at males, they'll just see a really tall one because a lot of males will get taller faster. They will.
Right.
But you will find that bushy male, and you'll find that male that actually has that smell. He will have a very good terp smell to him. And he'll be a tighter, shorter, bushier plant. That's what I've always looked for in males, plus how strong he is. I mean, those taller ones usually always end up breaking and throwing more pollen than you ever wanted, like ever wanted.
Yeah.
So,
Because I got another one here, but on that point is I grew two Durban males, and the first one is the first one up. I mean, it just sprouted. It was as tall as I was. But the one I'm using, I already got rid of that. The one I'm using, shorter, slower. Of course, now that it's gone into flower, it's grown a little bit.
yeah,
but
stretched.
But it's bushed out.
Yeah.
Whereas the other one was,
now.
it was well, you know how the Durbans are, just straight out limb. So, but yeah, spot on there. And Bernie would like to know what you would say to inspire new breeders to continue trying.
The unicorn is out there. You just haven't found it yet.
Oh, that's good. I'm writing that shit down. That sounds like a video I'll need to do.
And when you find it, it'll be one of the happiest days in your life. You'll be like, I created that. Wow. I mean, I've got to give this to the world as a gift, or give this to my people as a gift, and say, what do you think?
You know, that's an excellent point. That's an excellent point, because that rolls right back to if you remember back to when you grew your first plants, and then you harvested, and then you consumed them, whether it was smoking it or edibles, because we did edibles. And I know everybody was like me. It's like, damn, I grew that.
Oh,
after suffering through some dispo stuff and everything, you're like, damn.
Oh, I didn't go through all that, but when I was young and we hit harvest time, I was like, oh, here we go.
Yep.
And then once it dried and the cure came, I was like, ooh, I get to go test this. And my uncle, he was kind of a jerk. I'm gonna say that. You couldn't smoke with him, but you could go outside and smoke it. So, we'd be going in and getting in jars, and he'd be like, you ain't rolling that up in here. And I'm like, oh shit. Okay, we're going in your car then.
Well, that's okay, but you're not smoking with me.
Yeah, he didn't allow us to smoke with him until we were 16. So I don't know why.
That's cool, man. That's
just
cool.
it was just how he was. He was like, you ain't a man until so on and so forth.
But that's good. The unicorn, because a lot of people talk about the unicorn out there. Yeah,
it is out there. It really is. What you're looking for is out there. You just got to keep going till you find it. I mean, it could be a life's mission. It could take you 20 years to figure it out. But when you figure it out, it'd be like, I can't even explain the feeling when you find that plant. You're just like, oh.
Now I'm gonna have to circle that out to hunt for a unicorn. But I don't know, 20 years. That's a long time for me.
Well, I don't think, to me, it's so different, because people didn't really, the big growing phenomenon was not in the 80s when helicopters were looking for us. It was more when it all went legal everywhere, when Cali went legal, when Michigan went legal, when Colorado went legal, that's when more people started getting into the culture. So.
And that's the cool thing, because if you think about it, it is a culture. I mean, it is a culture, and I don't think it's a bad culture at all. I mean,
that was the greatest thing, because my uncles weren't alcoholics; they were stoners. Right. So,
right.
weren't throwing things at people and starting fights and being obnoxious. They were laughing, telling jokes, and destroying things. They did love to run stuff over with bulldozers and excavators, though.
Well, yeah, but that's
different.
That's different because being an alcoholic myself, I mean, you're spot on. I mean, you know, I don't hunt to fight people. You know,
yeah.
Of course, the last bunch of years I never did, anyways. But earlier in my life, bigger, you know, 10-foot tall, bulletproof, and it was all that alcohol. And no, now I'm not saying I wouldn't do some crazy crap, you know, with this hash rosin, but it would be nowhere as close to having anybody else involved, really.
I had a moon rock. What did you do after? Well, I don't really want to say.
Nope, don't want to talk about that. Yeah, see, and it would, yeah, and that's the thing, and that's why I love this community and the culture that it's built. It's just some people like to be a little more aggressive and your way or my way, the highway kind of deal. And
yeah, I'm not that guy. Yeah.
I'm a live and let live kind of guy. I would just as soon get along with everybody and just move on.
I'm the kind of guy who would pick on the bully. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You want to go for the weaker guy. Well, I'm coming for you. How does it feel? You know, that's right. The kind of guy I am. I mean, we were always raised that way. You know, you're a wolf. You don't start the fight, but you damn sure finish it.
Right.
And
right. I got taught kind of that way. I was always really tiny. I got my ass kicked a lot. But there were always smaller guys than me. It's like, okay, if all of you guys are going to whoop his ass, then how about all you guys whip two of us? You know, I get whipped all the time.
I never went that route. I was always a pretty big guy, and I learned to box. Started boxing when I was 8. So,
oh damn,
and started wrestling when I was 6. So pretty much, messing with. And to me, it was always, the poor kids, man. They didn't have the good clothes and the good shoes, and
right.
And they got picked on for it. And all the rich kids would just down them all the time, And I'm like, well, yeah, but he's still a really nice person, and you're a piece of trash.
Right.
So that makes you morally corrupt, and he's a great person. So why don't you go sit over there and leave him alone? Or, me and you could do something about it. And I don't think you're going to like how it ends.
Yeah. See, my problem was I wrestled 112.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was one of those little scrappy guys. Yeah.
Were you doing folk or freestyle or Greco?
Always folk.
You were doing folk. My little brother, he MMA fighter, has a gym now. He treats folk too. I did Greco myself. So my dad said that freestyle and folk was too weak. You don't learn any chokes, locks, or strangles.
Right.
That's no good. And,
right.
And the guy who taught me how to box was a Golden Gloves boxing champion, state champion 3 times. And he was a good friend of my older brother's. So he was like, you're going to learn the first 2 steps today. And I was like, what's that? And he's like, crack. Keep your guard up at all times. I was like, oh, well, thanks a lot for that, bud.
Hey, thanks,
appreciate
man.
it. But, it came in handy, and it also got me in a lot of trouble. So I ain't going to lie about that.
But it's life lessons, and as we move on,
it's all part of your character.
And that's where guys like you and I, we can sit back, and some young guy can say, "Well, here's what I'm going to do," and we can say, "Hey, you know what? I've done it. Didn't turn out too good."
Yeah, I've done it. I got the T-shirt, the mug shot, and I got a video.
Exactly. So you can do it. I'm not telling you not to, but I'm telling you what'll happen.
To me, most people too, they don't believe you until they actually do it and get in trouble. So it's like, okay, you learned the hard way. Since you were so stubborn, now what? Well, now send me some money on my books, will you? No.
It's kind of like
not to do it.
It's kind of like when you wake up one day and you think, "Oh crap, my old man was right." You're like, shit.
Oh, my old man wasn't. My real father. My real father was a raging alcoholic, man. No, but my pops was the dude who raised me. He was a Marine, and he did
Oh, hell
2
yeah.
tours in Vietnam. He taught me regiment. He taught me, he was great all the way around. He raised me from the time I was 4 until I was 26.
Oh,
And
that's
then
good.
my mom and him got divorced, and on from there. But I was a full grown man by my real father. Like I said, my real father was a monster, man. He's freaking half Native American, and he always rolled around 280, 290. Usually had about 30-inch biceps. He was a big dude.
Damn.
And he was in every state except Alaska and Hawaii. He was a lineman. He painted high tension towers. And that dude went everywhere and started a few families that,
Oh,
we
man.
didn't know about. We didn't know there was others of us out there. I just know that I was his last because after I was born, he got fixed. So
Yeah.
I was the last he ever had.
But you know what? There's still, you still got character, and then
Yeah.
your stepfather just built that character.
Yeah, and I give him the most props because he didn't have to. He didn't
Right.
have to be that man, but he was. So it
Well,
just goes to show, that just because someone, makes you doesn't mean that they're going to take care of you. And just because someone didn't make you doesn't mean they ain't going to love you.
Exactly. Just because somebody made you doesn't make you them your parent. They're not your mother or father. It's whoever raised you, really.
Yep. And I got lucky too. I mean, my mom had 14 brothers and sisters, and my father had 12, and my stepdad had 11.
Oh, wow.
So, there was a lot of us.
Wow.
I had enough cousins to fill like 6 counties. There's over 10,000 of us in Michigan alone. So
That's a big family.
yeah,
Cool.
you can't go in a county in Michigan that I don't have a family member in. So
Damn.
most of the cities and most of the countrysides as well. We still own 3 really big farms up there as well. 2 dairy farms, and the other one is straw, hay, and clover, and then beans and potatoes.
So we've got like 8 minutes left, but I want to touch back on because you're getting ready to retire and you're going to stop test growing. Do you think you'll still grow, a plant or 2 here and there? Still grow a couple plants, or are you just totally done?
No, I'm just gonna. I haven't grown in the last 2 seasons. My wife
Oh,
did.
wow.
This year I will. So I'll be triple caging again. I'm gonna go out with a bang. I'm gonna put my best foot forward on a lot of
Oh,
stuff.
fuck yeah.
And I'm gonna go out with a bang, and then I'm just done. I'll keep growing vegetables, and I have a fruit orchard and other stuff to mess with, and I'll just be there to to guide my daughter through her journey because it's her time now, man.
Right. And
My
I
time's
guess,
over.
I guess that was going to be the next part of it. Since she's kind of taken over, you could kind of sit in the back and kind of help guide.
Yeah, that's
her.
Yeah, she's totally different than me too. She plays classical music in her tents.
Oh, there you go.
And she also talks to her plants, which I never did, but she does. And she's, oh, look at you, you're so beautiful. And she'll pop a leaf, and she's got Bach playing. She's got Bach playing in the background. And
oh, that's cool. I mean, I'll cuss at him now and then.
I will slap a lady around outdoors. I really
That's
will.
about that gets done now and then. But
no, but yeah.
Here's a question.
Oh, Wendy's got a question.
Sure.
Oh, she's got to find it.
There it is.
No.
He was asking if you're going to grow your personal, but nah.
No.
So now I see how it's going to work. She's going to do the growing, and there you go. And you're going to
Now you got it.
do the test, and now I got it. Damn. You got that worked out.
Mhm. Yep.
That is good stuff there, boy.
Yep. She's the 4th generation grower. And when she has kids, it'll pass on to them and so on and so forth. Same with my other kids. So
Does she have a YouTube channel or?
Does she have a YouTube channel or anything?
no. Some people on here on YouTube know her. Her name's Arrow. She won't ever be on screen anywhere. A bunch of people have grown her genetics though, and like I said, she doesn't promote smoking at all. She's an edible person only.
Right.
She don't smoke anything. But yeah, the seeds will still be around. They're most likely her grows will be, on my channel, but you won't ever see her. You can hear her talk once in a while, but she doesn't want to show who she is, and I don't blame her.
Oh no, I wouldn't blame her either, especially kind of the way things are nowadays, and just the
doxing and things like that.
Yeah, the doxing, and because I've had people drive into my driveway.
Yeah, doxing, swatting, all that crap, and she's in the background. That's where she'll always be. She ain't gonna be standing out front. I'm the only one that stands out front. Me and my wife, because you can dox me all you want, but if you show up here, you're not leaving. So,
yeah, exactly. Because
that's your choice.
Yeah, state of Arizona. I mean, concealed carry state.
We are constitutional. We're a constitutional carry state. We have castle doctrine and stand your ground.
Yep,
so if you have stepped foot on my property, I consider you a threat. I'm gonna have little 60 amigos chase you. And the only law that I know of is that I cannot shoot you in the back, so I will shoot you in the legs till you turn around.
There you go.
That's about it. I'm too old to be Jason, so.
Yeah, and it's sad that somebody would dox you for a YouTube channel. Trust me, it's sad that it's come to that, but
it happens too much.
Yeah.
It happens way too much. That, and there's a bunch of them that start making a lot of lies up about you too. They like to use that PDF stuff all the time. They like to say that about people a lot because they know the 3 things to call somebody the worst you can do is call them a bigot, a Nazi, and a PDF. Yep. And those are the 3 they love to use.
Yeah. Trust me. Trust me, I've heard one of them. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I got really mad about that when they did that to you too.
And you know what? I remember that because I remember you saying something that, and I appreciate that. But you know what?
You're welcome. But you didn't deserve that, and those people were all trolls anyways. So
yeah. And you know what? Right. Shit happens, and I just move on. Because
let it roll. Yeah, just keep rolling.
Yeah.
They can't stop you if you don't let them slow you down. So.
You know what? That sounds like a song. I'll have to write something like that. But we got like just a couple more minutes left. Anything you want to say in closing, or anything you want to promote?
We got a seed giveaway going on my birthday on the 15th of this month. There's a seed giveaway. All you got to do to enter is just comment on the post. We have a grow off going on. Day 1A1. He's got a grow off going on with only my genetics. Bunch of people in here are in it. John Doe, Blackened, everybody. And big shout out to all the people who kept their word to me and grew the seeds that I sent them. They mean the most to me. I could have 10,000 subs, but if I have only 30 real people, I'm happy.
Yeah.
I don't need to be popular anymore. I went that route earlier in life and never was really happy with it because then you tried to appease too many people and you weren't who you were. So in closing, man, thank you for having me on the show. I appreciate you. Everyone in the chat, I appreciate you. Big shout out to your wife. She was great. She helped me with everything. So,
trust me, she helps me with everything.
So I give her, a lot of credit for this because she prepared me. I was like, what are we going to talk about? I don't even know. And she gave me a bullet point list, and I was like, awesome. So.
Oh, she gives me a lot of bullet points.
Yeah.
A lot of bullets.
A lot of bullets, yeah.
But no, thank you for having me up, bro. I appreciate you for having me on the show. I really do. To everyone, don't be afraid to fail and keep it growing. Let's overgrow the world.
There you go. You know what? That's a lot of good. Not only a lot of good information, but a lot of good sayings coming out. John Doe says he's always growing Triple B's genetics from now on. They'll always have a space in his grows.
Yeah, John's a man of his word.
Oh, he is. I love John.
Yeah. Tree Nug, Blacken,
yeah.
Galaxy's grown some of mine that he got on a giveaway. So, yeah, all good people. You got a lot of great people that come in your chat for sure. I haven't seen too many that weren't, great community.
I just like everybody to get along. I'm can't we all just get along kind of guy. I mean,
can't we all smoke a bong,
Yeah, and don't get me wrong. There's another part of me.
Yeah.
That I had in the military that, I don't mind saying fuck off too, in a bad way.
Yeah, I don't have a gate when it comes to certain things at all. You won't find me being morally correct with some people. I mean, I'm not going to, talk about their children or politics or anything, but I'm sure going to come to their face and talk to them there about what I think about them. And I will say, that I warn a couple people about a couple people, because once you've been a snitch or told many lies or doxed somebody, I don't want anything to do with you ever again.
Yeah.
And if you support the people, and they're talking bad about you and your other people that and it's all lies, and you're in their chat just chatting it up with them, to me, you're no better than them. I'm sorry, but guilt by association, because you didn't stand on business that day, did you? You let those people talk all that trash about the people you called friends, people that did stuff for you, and you let them do it and didn't say a word, and you're still there. To me, I don't want nothing to do with you after that. But that's just me. Loyalty goes a long way.
Right.
It does. And so does respect. So.
Right. And that's one thing. Well, I'm going to wind it down. I was going to talk about respect, because that's one thing that if somebody in the chat, talks bad about somebody in the chat, or they talk bad about somebody up here, that to me is disrespect to Wendy and I.
Yeah, it brings drama to your show. And then it changes the mood. It changes the whole mood of the whole thing. You know what I mean? You go from laughing and giggling to just sadness and drama and everything else that goes with it. And a lot of people get off on that, drama sells, I guess, and that's why they do it. I don't know.
Yeah. We ain't selling no drama here.
Nope, I just insta block them all, you know what I mean? Just they're gone. Goodbye.
Yeah.
Don't need it.
But I will. Oh, Wendy's over there. She's like, yeah.
Yeah, it's time, brother. I gotta go too.
Yeah. Oh, I'm with you. So I just want to say, Bear, thanks for coming up. I mean, this was a great time. A lot of great information out there that you passed on. A lot of great sayings and stuff. And this is actually the first time we've ever really met, because you popped up one time for a little short period of time, but this and I appreciate you popping up, because it really means a lot, and because I like to make new friends and stuff, and I feel like we'd be really good friends and stuff. But
yeah, I think we get along with ease.
We're from about the same time.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, so it's all. If you're going to talk about me, face to face, and then we'll move on.
Yeah, we're older than Google.
Yeah, right. And Dirt's just a little bit older.
Yeah, and if you wanted to go talk trash to somebody, you had to actually go and talk trash to them.
Exactly.
You couldn't just type it off on a keyboard from 4 states away.
No, or you'd have to hold it and ring it while you're. Yeah.
Dang, I accidentally pushed 4. Oh,
Yep.
start over. Click.
And then, of course, if it was somebody like I'd call my, I know I'm going to finish up, but I'd call my girlfriend and I'd talk forever, and that was long distance, and my old man would have a fit. So those were the old days, but But with that being said, thank you, Bear, for popping up.
Yep. Thanks for having me.
We'll see you later. Good luck in retirement, and hopefully, when does that grow off? It's like for the next 3 months, you guys are gonna.
It's gonna be longer. I think it's gonna go for like 5 months or so because there's a photo and an auto category.
Right.
So, I think they're gonna veg their photo till their autos are done, and then they're gonna flip their photos.
Yeah,
so
that's what I heard. Like 3 months of veg.
Yeah. I hope they don't go that long, but if they only have one tent, they only got one tent.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But there'll be more to come on that.
Mm-hmm. There's over $1,000 into the first prize winner, so worth the seeds, the gear, silver bars. Now there's a whole bunch of stuff. People keep adding to the prizes and the trophy. There's also a glass trophy, a cup being given to the overall winner. So, yeah.
No, that's good. Okay, so all you guys need to go over there and check out A1 Day One over there, A1 Farms.
Yep.
Because he's got it going on over there. Our next live is going to be tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Eastern. TC Garage, Jack and the Green Talk, and myself. Tomorrow we're going to talk pollination, since I'm about maybe 5 days away from poof. So
awesome.
We're going to talk pollination and stuff. But with that said, I think we're going to say good night, Bear. Good night, chat. And we're going to hit the end stream button. Go ahead, Wendy.
Razor lights across the night, amps howl, circuits burn, phone glows, call to arms, the growers our returns, basements